Okay. So, hello, Sweta. How are you doing today? Very good afternoon.
Yes, very good afternoon. It's going on well and fantastic as usual. And
Okay.
what about
That's
you,
it.
brother?
Well, I'm fit as Fidel, doing pretty well in my life by the grace of Almighty God and trying to add some value in my overall personality. Let's see what will happen in future.
Yeah, so we are learning here every day. We are trying something new. So that is we are doing right every single day.
Exactly. Because once you start collecting jobs and jobs, then all you can make it as sourcing, right? So learning itself is a never-ending process, and there is always space for adding something in your knowledge bank. So that's how it works.
Yeah.
And I guess this is the first time talking to you in this way officially. So I want you to introduce yourself, and then I would introduce myself.
Yeah, sure, brother. So as you know, my name is Sweta and I come from Jalpaiguri, West Bengal. I have completed my graduation. Now I'm doing master in first year from English literature. And currently I'm running a YouTube channel which is Sweta's English Lifestyle, where I upload English conversation related to English. And if I talk about my interest, I love to sing, I love to travel. That's all about me. Thank you so much. Okay.
Wow,
So
that's a bombastic introduction from your side. I'm being flabbergasted and dumbfounded the way you have introduced. And thanks. Let me introduce
yeah,
myself. Well, my name is Shiv, and I'm from state Uttarakhand. Well, by profession, I'm a central government employee. And as far as my academic qualification concerned, I'm done with my Master in English, Master in Commerce. And this year, I'm pursuing my Master in Economics. This is my final year. In addition to this, I do teach English as an unofficial English trainer through different online applications, and I do have my own YouTube channel by the name of English with Teachership. So that's all from my side.
you are doing so many things. Wow, that sounds great. Yes, I
Thank you.
can tell that you are doing so many things. And by profession, you are also doing a job and also you are maintaining this teaching field. How do you manage? Could you explain or tell me?
Well, I would say two things for this question. The first one is if you have need, so then you can find a seed. And secondly, necessity is the mother of all invention. So which simply means if you have something specific, powerful to do in your life, you don't need to find any reason in order to pursue with that particular aspect of life. You and your powerful reason both can together will allow you to work in different kind of field and try like indulging yourself into several aspects of life. So that's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, that's really nice. So, do you have any question about me?
Yes, my first question for you is I want to know about your English learning, like when you start and why did you start? What are the impediments you have faced in order to learn this language, and how did you get rid of all those obstacles?
Okay. Everyone asks this question, and yes, I tell many times, but again, I'm sharing to you as well, as you don't know. So, I I started learning. It was 2021, and I belong to Bengali medium. I completely done my school in Bengali. So when I was in college first year, that time I realized that I need to learn this language anyhow because I was not able to read. I was not able to understand language because when I was in school, that time we study in only Bengali and we were not focusing English because it was our subject, not language. So and when I sorry, when I started my college life, and that time I took English literature. So of course I had to learn English anyhow because literature is also quite tough and it is all about English related. So I started learning in my first year, and that time I didn't know anything how to learn and where did I get the information and about resources. So basically, I started through videos. I started watching and listening. I focused on that. And yeah, mostly I was watching videos. And that from video, I realized that we can talk on audio call, like applications are there. And there are so many strategies that we can follow for learning. Otherwise, previously, when I started in my first, like initial stage, that time I didn't know that what are the things I need to follow because we don't like know about English language and what are the things we don't know how to do and how to implement everything. So I was in college and there I started watching, listening, and there I started even speaking. I didn't know about grammar. Grammar I knew, but basic things which we can speak in our basic grammar, you can say that, which is required in our speaking. And yeah, I was making extremely mistake, but I can tell you that in my initial stage, I started speaking. I didn't think about it, that I'm making mistakes or any kind of thing. And in that way, I started and I followed all the things, structures, and everything because I researched a lot through videos on Google and lots of things I did on YouTube and Google, you can say, because I learned by myself. I didn't take any classes or anything. And as I told you, that completely done my school in Bengali. So yeah, I researched everything, and by listening, by watching, by reading, by thinking, by speaking, I learned this language. I must say that, yes. And yes, I focus on grammar, vocabulary, and yes, I want to tell that I use very simple language, very simple sentences that better people can understand me, and I try to speak clear. This was my journey, and still I'm learning. I'm focusing now. I can speak, I can express myself, but I'm working on my communication skill, and I'm learning how to interact with people. As I told you, that I learned by myself. So I was not speaking on video call with people, and even audio call. I I did little bit, not that much. I made two friends, and with them I was just speaking basically. But nowadays I'm interacting with people and improving my communication and also English. Yes, this is my story of journey, or you can say story.
Your journey of learning this language is as pretty as you are lovely. And moreover, the steps which you have been following in order to get hold in command of this language, all those steps are really stupendous and fabulous. I most appreciate all those.
Thank you
Secondly,
so
my
much.
next question for you is, yeah, welcome. So, second question for you is, for example, if a beginner wants to learn this language and he is seeking for some good piece of advices from your side, what do you think? What could be the best possible tips and tricks you can suggest to all beginners that after implementing all those steps, they are going to speaking as fluently as you are speaking?
Okay, I can suggest as per my experience. So they can start, those who are beginners, they can start with listening and watching. Again, I can tell these things because I did and it worked. Listening and watching and reading also, but first listen and watch for a month for the habituate with the language because we don't even understand and we feel bored when we listen videos and when we learn grammar. And even I don't want to suggest to start with grammar because grammar is theoretical, you can say, and we have to experiment practically. So for that we need to take support for grammar in English language for learning English language, but not only with grammar but also listening and watching. And they can watch videos of grammar, or if they need any tutor then they can take classes or and these things they can do. If they can't, then start with listening and watching, And gradually, when they get habituated with that language, they can start reading subtitle, which is again available on YouTube videos. They don't need to go here and there, and don't need to read books. But they can read subtitle at least. If they can read books, that's a really great thing. But if they can't, then they can study that subtitle, as I did my initial stage. So they can read the subtitle and they can listen carefully the video mindfully, and they can watch and listen is different actually. Watch When we watching, we don't listen carefully, but when we are listening, we just listen carefully. So 3 times, if they can do gradually, they will improve. And with grammar, they can practice if they are learning particular grammar. Because what happened when we learn grammar in the beginning time, we don't implement, we just learn this grammar portion. We have to implement. So yes, gradually they can implement, and they need to think in English, not in Hindi. Because we always understand that listening, speaking, writing, and reading, four types are there, which is important for learning English. But I say that thinking and watching is also important. Watching and thinking are both important. At the same time, listening, writing, reading, speaking. And yes, grammar is important if they can use practically and vocabulary. And yeah, in that way, they can improve their English. In initial stage, I can suggest this thing. It is a very
Wow.
easy that we can do.
Yeah, all these tips are very simple, easy, and the one who is a beginner can implement all these tips in a very possible ways and can become a fluent speaker undoubtedly. Thanks. So I'm done with my questions. If you have any question which you want to ask me, you can ask.
Okay. So tell me, like nowadays, do you practice English or just you teach English? You don't need to practice or you need to practice?
Both. I do teach as well as I learn as well because I consider myself as a learner for the rest of my life. I never consider myself as a teacher. So whenever I'm teaching, as I always try to being very amicable and affable with them because learning with one is the best technique that one can use in order to get command of this language. And secondly, I would say when it comes to practice, we should not leave our practice. We should not detach ourselves with our practice because if
Exactly.
you are not going to practice, you are going to lose everything that ever you have learned so far. The practice
Mhm.
is mandatory. Now, second thing, when you're saying teaching, so teaching itself is more than enough to practice this language because before teaching to someone, you need to study first. You need to get a deep research about the topic which you are going to teach or which you are going to talk about. So that's a simple step that you can learn because I remember the day when I asked this question to one of my native speaker teachers. She suggested me like if you want to improvise your spoken English, if you want to become a professional English speaker, all you have to do is you have to start teaching others because teaching
Yes.
will control your voice, your pace, your rhythm, tonality, every single day. You can work upon your intonation. You'd be quite calm, serene, tranquil, and composed. So the way you can teach, it would be more organized, and you can align your thoughts with your words in a very simple way. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's all.
exactly. So my second question is, do you teach offline, online, both, or only online?
Actually, to be very honest with you, I'm not a professional English trainer because I haven't done any course like that.
Yes.
I teach English as an unofficial English trainer based on my 3.5 year experience through different online application, which I have been using for long. So whenever I create my own panel, I create my own session, I do share all the vocabs which are literally indispensable in order to speak English fluently. I do share idioms. If someone is making a mistake regarding grammar, I'm correcting to them. If someone's pronunciation is not up to the mark, I'm trying to make them understand like how can you enunciate these sounds in order to pronounce this word correctly. So all these things I do along with my students, whosoever is are struggling with their spoken English.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
My last question is, when did you start this language, learning this language, and like, yeah, when did you start? First, I want to listen this.
Well, it's been 3.5 years I've been speaking English. And in my initial stage, I was such a terrible and dangerous spoken English speaker because I couldn't speak English a single sentence. I wasn't able to introduce myself in English. And just because of that, I feel embarrassed from myself many times when people used to criticize me a lot. But that criticism is the, you can say, ignite or ignition for me that gave me a spark, and that ignite my whole soul body in order to learn this language. So that was a kind of turning point for me, and that triggered me a lot to become fluent in this language.
Okay. Did you learn by your own, or you took any classes?
Well, I haven't taken any classes till now, as I don't want to pay any single coin in order to master this language. Because when there are so many resources are available in front of you at free of cost, why are you going to waste your money in order to like master this language? You have YouTube in your hand, you can listen to podcasts. You have so many online application where you can talk with some co-learners at free of cost. And these days you have YouTube. If you don't have anything to do, just try to create your own
Yeah.
videos and upload on YouTube. This is how you are going to learn a lot. And secondly, there are so many applications where you can talk with people face to face, like this application. So when you feel that you have to master this language, and you have a powerful reason to learn this language, that powerful reason will automatically tell you how can you get good command and fluency in this language. So that's all from my side.
Okay. So yes, I now I have asked all of the questions which I had in my mind. Now we can end up the session. And yes, I really felt great while talking with you, and I learned from you a lot. And I hope which you asked me, the question you asked me, that I had given, well manner as my simple trick and strategy, you can say, which is I shared to you. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share.
Yes, thanks for connecting with me and giving your precious time. Well, it was really a fruitful and colorful conversation with you. I've enjoyed a lot. Hopefully, you as well. So, in future, we are going to talk about some other topics. So, thank you for connecting with me. So, bye bye.
Thank you
Take care.
so
Keep
much.
talking and keep learning. See you.
Yes, likewise. Thank you.